Most new crypto tokens over the last year lost 70%. Does that mean meme coins are officially dead? Well, more on that in a minute. Welcome to Crypto Currents. Happy New Year, everyone. We are the weekly podcast giving you everything you need to know about crypto, finance, and fintechs, all from people actually working in blockchain and fintechs. Think of us like your friendly neighborhood elf. You know, we're hungover after Christmas, we're going through New Year's, but we're still here smoking a cigarette and giving you the insights. I'm your host, Vince, and today I'm joined by our resident degen, Kale from the Encrypt team.
What's up?
And Katya from Mute.
Would like to make clear that we do not promote smoking on this podcast.
That's very true. So yeah, it's the first week of January, which is really exciting, and kind of doing some look back of the last year is in order for sure. And so we'll talk about meme coins and new crypto coins here at the end of the show. But let's start by talking about Ethereum. So in Q4, Ethereum saw $8 trillion of stablecoin transfers, which was basically double that of Q3, which is absolutely bonkers. Continues to be the main layer of choice for RWAs for stablecoins. Talk to me about this, guys, about like general adoption, about Ethereum in general. What are your reactions to this looking back on the last year?
I mean, game over. Ethereum has won. Like, I don't see any blockchain usurping Ethereum's position at this point. I think in 2020, like the first half of 2020, there were like 10 billion, like less than 50 billion of stablecoin volume, which today we're talking about 8 trillion in Q4. That's literally like an 800 times increase. And that was only 5 years ago I'm talking about. So, I mean, yeah, at this point, it feels like Ethereum is by far the fastest horse in Avalanche. We're watching an avalanche like occur in front of our eyes.
Interesting. Okay, so you don't think it's the Yahoo of the world and some Google will come out of left field?
No, I actually think that this is kind of reminiscent of like Apple Android. There aren't like the similarities or the parallels aren't perfect, but I see Ethereum as like Apple, as in like the one, like the operating system that most people are using, or as far as I'm aware, at least. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I feel like Android's more popular globally.
Your American bias is showing because it's true for the United States, and that's about where it stops.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely biased because iOS, in my opinion, at least like feels cleaner and easier to use. And like, that's how I view Ethereum. Ethereum, in my opinion, is like the obvious option. Like if you want an easy to use, clean UI to do the things, go to Ethereum. And then like Android is going to be, who knows, like Tron or Solana or who knows, but it feels like Ethereum is not going anywhere at this point, and like also not gonna, I don't know, it's so hard for me to believe that it's gonna like something else is gonna take it over. So
right. Katya, what's your retrospective on those?
Well, so in addition to the volume, I think it's 65% of stable coins and RWAs are on Ethereum, and it's more than 70 if you account for L2s. So the domination is very, very strong. And I think there's network effects also going on because, as we've mentioned in other podcasts, institutions are leaning towards Ethereum. I don't know what it is. Like, I think Ethereum has this vibe of being run by like nerds, but reliable and smart nerds, and a reputation. Like, when you look at Vitalik, that is not the picture of an adult in the room that that would come to your mind. but I think that just the leadership, the developer leadership of Ethereum, if not the foundation leadership, but at least the developers leadership, has established itself as like a force with a reputation and with the reliability and all of that. So I think it's just quietly just doing its thing, just working. It just works. It quietly works and everything works and the volume goes up. Like, the only surprise I think is the expression that you, Vince, hate so much for good reason, the hockey stick of the volume that is happening right now. That's probably the only surprise. But otherwise, like, I think this is expected. And the other news that I piece of news sort of that I found intriguing is like about the Ethereum solving the trilemma, the blockchain trilemma. I haven't been following the tech developments on it very much lately, but apparently, like an update in December and the continued development of ZK EVMs is kind of indicating that Ethereum is not going to be challenged by any of the like classic blockchain challenges, which is scalability, security slash consensus, and what's the third one? Volume is scalable. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
Vince is
I mean, I
looking at
was
me like
hoping you
I'm
were gonna
crazy.
learn me real. I'm in awe. I'm in school
No,
all over again. Be like, say
no, yeah.
more.
So one is security and consensus, which is like that. Well, decentralization. Jesus,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah, yeah.
third one.
No, I
Yeah,
just screamed it out, but I realized I was muted.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so the three aspects of blockchain, real quick, the three aspects of blockchain that have to be present for like the perfect blockchain are that it has to be decentralized, that it has to be scalable, so throughput and volume, and that it has to be secure, so it has to remain a consensus mechanism that works. And so historically, the trilemma means that a blockchain that works really well usually can only do two of these. So if it has high throughput and it's usually centralized, or if it's decentralized, then it's slow, etc. So kind of like it has to sacrifice one. And the convo now is that Ethereum is maybe solving the trilemma because of the recent updates, the ZK EVMs, and the data availability solution that was just implemented makes it all of the things. It stays decentralized as it always was. The volumes go up, and the consensus, the Ethereum consensus, is famous for being always up, and that's knocking on wood.
I can't wait to put that on TikTok. We're gonna learn so many people with
100%.
that clip alone.
Dude, this is like so pie in the sky, but I really feel like Ethereum's gonna save the world. Like, just like that little explanation that Katya gave, like that's the vibe. Ethereum is not like in front of your face, center of attention. Like it's quietly building and getting better and better. Nobody, like half the world doesn't even know about it, but it's like we can literally have like transparent elections on Ethereum if we build an L2 like specifically for something like that. So it's like, yeah, I'm so excited about Ethereum in the future and everything that it's doing.
Oh, that's so hopeful here in January of 2026. I love that.
Oh yeah,
in the first week of January.
In the first week, yeah. For me, looking at this stablecoin adoption, I think it's really good. I also really highlights to me that so many of these other blockchains don't have a unique selling proposition because so many other blockchains are like, we have stablecoins too. It's like, why? Like,
yeah,
this is
exactly.
already kind of done. Like, go out and do something new, do something interesting. Because I think that's what, like, when the ICO boom, everyone was like, this is what this project's doing, and this is what this project's doing. And they're all wildly different. And I think that that's what made that time really cool and interesting. And now it's just like, we are building a blockchain that is fast and has stable coins. And that's a very disinteresting, I think, and spreads out, attention and eyeballs of everyone elsewhere. But speaking of things that are interesting, Zcash is the top performing large cap asset of the year, kind of indicating, and really we've seen it, we've talked about it, that the privacy narrative is a big one, both for last year and probably going into this year. Talk to me about privacy.
And I was actually curious to see, like, the headline is that Zcash is the top one, and the second top performing large cap is Monero. They have occupied and large cap, I believe, just for those who don't know, I didn't know, means over 1 billion, I think, of total cap. So they've locked, the top two spots, and I don't know. I feel like it's a reaction to the TradFi DeFi kind of merge going on from the constituency that is against all that and was like, this is not why we signed up for crypto. I have no data to back this opinion up, but I kind of feel like those people who were like thought that all of crypto was going in the direction of privacy and anonymity and all of that. They're pivoting now. They're like, okay, that's going elsewhere, so I'm gonna lean into the privacy. I don't know if this is true at all, but that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I've been kind of seeing a like similar shift too, just like on socials for the last couple years, to be honest, like privacy protocols like slowly but surely being more and more talked about, at least, and it like kind of blew up in this last quarter. But yeah, I've been a huge fan of privacy projects for a long time. I feel like they deserve their time for sure, because it's like the one thing that's kind of lacking with on-chain tools. One thing that I thought was hilarious, I was reading an article about this Zcash domination thing that's happening right now, and what was it, I think the company's called like Cypherpunk Technology or Cyberpunk Technology, one of those.
Yeah, cypherpunk, I think. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
Cypherpunk Technology, they're trying to accumulate 5% of Zcash to what was it, I wrote it down, to reprice societal importance of privacy, which is
Wow.
like,
Okay.
I thought
I
was
like that.
no, dude, no. Because like, okay, I understand like, okay, we need to reprice the societal value of privacy for sure, but owning 5% of Zcash doesn't do that.
No.
You know, like giving 5% of Zcash to a random company, like society doesn't care about that. If we want to reprice how people value privacy, we need to like hack everybody's iPhone. Like everybody's iPhone is getting hacked.
Maybe they just actually, what they actually meant is own society's value of privacy.
Yeah, more
I
likely.
take it as they're just getting a slush fund to do like marketing related to the importance of privacy. That's how I read that. And I do think we need that. I remember seeing like, ads for talking about emails for like newborns, where this company was basically making emails for newborns that is privacy centric, and it's like not just farming their data from day one.
Interesting.
And I kind of like that. I mean, I think, I think part of this narrative of privacy projects is because it's the easiest way to start actually building tools for privacy. We've lost so much privacy with the internet and now with AI, where you can just be like, hey, AI, take this photo and do like horrendous things to it to remove the privacy from that person. And I feel like we see, kids posting photos of their kids now with the faces blurred, or because I do think that there is more of a desire to have and restore privacy, but people don't know how. And I think that these privacy narratives and these privacy projects, at least transparency of data and privacy of data, is a little bit easier than be like, well, I don't want my photos to be used on billboards, without my consent.
Well, when you said, they want to use it for marketing privacy, my question was like, how do you market privacy? Like it's just like decentralization. Privacy is a hard thing to market. Like I feel like sponsoring massive hacks is
I was just gonna
is,
say, dude, just
is
like
the
the
privacy
best,
marketing.
just like the best unique selling proposition for decentralization is when centralized banks take all your stuff away and like tell you, no, you can't use this anymore. So it's like, yeah, we need to start getting the white hackers out there, white hats.
It's like it's an interesting like question and thought experiment, because it's like I feel like it's along the lines of like, how do you teach a kid to fear fire without burning their face off? Like, just burn them a tiny bit, and then they'll know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like these, and it's really kind of like a sad. This is not a very New Year spirit kind of thing to say, but it's a sad thing to think about, that the most important kind of values are the hardest to market, like the hardest to convince people to sign up to. That's sad.
I mean, it's the way of things. But if I had this budget, I tell you what I'd do. I would like set up a camera in Times Square, and then I would just take a, like a telescopic lens, have a nerd with a computer,
zoom in on people,
and I would like zoom in on one person, be like, find their socials, post it all on this billboard on Times Square just from a quick Google search, and I would just sit there and do that all day. Like people would talk about that. That would like rock people's worlds, I think.
Yeah, no, that's a really good marketing idea, and I would love to be the person doing that job too. Like literally just like behind the keyboard.
And you're like, oh, look at this idiot.
Diabolical.
Oh,
But
dude,
yeah,
really funny. It's effective.
Yeah. No, I think it would be a really interesting challenge because rather than hack people, I'm showing them like what's possible for some idiot rather than like what's possible by some, super smart nerd, of which I am
True,
not.
true.
Yeah.
Make it more relatable.
So I expect fully that we'll continue to see privacy, being front and center with a lot of technology going forward. And it's funny when you said cyberpunk, that's been on my mind a lot recently, the video game, because in the video game, everyone uses private server internet with like small communities rather than the broader internet because AI has just taken over the broader internet with bots. I'm like, oh my God, we're there. This is crazy.
That is crazy to think about. I saw some people talking about that on socials recently, and I didn't realize it came straight from that game.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to replay that game to experience what's going to happen in the near future.
Scared to think about.
I know. But let's move on and let's talk about Robinhood. So Robinhood had a gangbusters year, and in a recent article talked about how they are leaning into advanced crypto traders and advanced traders related to crypto volatility to like reshape user behavior. And as I read this, it's like yes, they're becoming more of a casino, as we've said with the Kalshi integrations and stuff of that. But talk to me about reshaping user behavior in general. It doesn't have to be about Robinhood, but like reshaping user behavior to be more risk forward, to be more proactive, to be more trading. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
To be more risk forward, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it just depends on like what audience you're trying to market to, But yeah, I mean, in general, it's probably not a good thing if I had to like pick one or the other. Just because it's like we want society to be more risk averse in general, probably. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that.
What about you, Katya, with the perfect lighting on you right now?
I was just gonna say, dude, like the sun's setting over there, sun's
Yeah,
rising over here.
the sun is setting and it's kind of reflecting because I'm actually facing east right now, but it's kind of reflecting off windows, and I'm like I didn't account for that ahead of time, so you'll just have to see me in this golden hour light for a little bit. But it's interesting what that article made me think of about Robinhood. What made me think of is more along the lines of like they're saying, like we're leaning into experience. Like they were seen at first as the place for people to start, but like not the real deal, right? Like if you're a real trader, you would have your brokerage account, like you would have something else. Like this is like gamified for beginners. And now they want to step out of that reputation and lean into experienced traders and provide more products for them, which I think is good because obviously as your audience matures, you gotta or changes, you gotta account for that. But I don't like the lean away from like beginners because then what is the point? Have we given up? Like, have we decided as a fintech industry that actually forget beginners? They're not very profitable, or we failed to educate them, or we failed to interest them and just whatever. Does it not work? Is it, forget that? Because, and to me, that connects into also what crypto is about, like lowering the barriers. Like I'm connecting that with the general thing of lowering the barriers and kind of like opening it up to anyone, even if you have no experience, if you have no idea what it is. But like now, this kind of shift I see as more of the same kind of like experience attracting experience, people who already have capital attracting capital, etc. So kind of like maybe that's not what they meant, but that's what it made me think of.
Yeah. Well, I think part of this is the aging up of the companies. I think so many of these fintechs were of our generation, and I like to think they succeeded with a lot of our generation and are now like, okay, these millennials are now approaching 40 or, slightly beyond it. Time to grow up. And it's maybe time for the next wave of fintechs. Maybe this is just like 5 years in the future of crypto. Like maybe we're going to need to grow up and put on our corporate suits.
I mean, that's what everyone is saying, that you gotta grow up and put on the corporate suits. But I
Boo.
don't, yeah, boo. Like, yeah, I'm also like, I'm a little, Yeah, it just feels to me like it's drawing back into itself. It's drawing back into the same. And that's disappointing to me because obviously the hope was, and for me still is, that all this new financial tech will be changing qualitatively the landscape instead of just like bigger, faster, better, more people aping in because now we can let them. Or so kind of like that's not the, and also about the risk. Another thing that occurred to me, there's that book that came out 1929 about the have you heard of it? No.
No, I have not.
It's
No.
yeah, it's
Oh,
about the
about the
crash.
crash. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't read it, but I read a few like reviews and interviews with the author, and his biggest takeaway was like, like margin and leverage kills people and whole economies eventually. That the economy needs some risk taking to move things forward, especially like early adoption and things like that wouldn't happen if there weren't risk forward people and institutions that were willing to. But like everything else, it's a double-edged sword. So I don't know, like I don't think necessarily educating people to be more risk forward is the answer. Like I don't think we've even cracked educate, like the percentage of people who own stock even in the United States is still, I don't know what it is, but it's low.
Yeah.
for the access, right? Like anybody could do it, but like people don't. So I think we haven't even cracked like just ownership, let alone
Haven't
risk
cracked
forward.
the like bare minimum of risk. And
Yeah,
now,
like let alone risk forward trading. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. You guys remember Binance Academy? Like,
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I used to save all those links to all those educational sites and stuff. Yeah.
That's what this is reminding me of. Especially like when Katya, a few minutes ago, you said something about profitability. Like it's probably a profit thing. And that's why they're like pivoting to what they're pivoting to. And it made me realize like this isn't the first time this has happened. Binance Academy, there's other companies who have like tried this playbook before. And they probably all come to a similar realization that like onboarding beginners and all of the education that it requires is like not worth the profit that we're making. Like we should just pivot to this and like the super advanced trading stuff and like cater to those guys. And so Robinhood probably like will make a Binance Academy type deal. Like make the beginner section is over here. If you're a beginner and you want to learn stuff and you're a noob, this is for you. And like Robinhood is probably going to be like the advanced thing now.
I mean, I would assume they would have to be, right? Like we've got so much inheritance here in the United States coming our way as millennials, as these boomers like continue to transition out and
transition, dude.
I was waiting to see. I'm waiting how he's gonna handle that.
Yeah, and so I think like there's going to be a lot of people with a lot of money that they're just like, I don't know what to do with any of this. And hopefully they just won't come from that like desperate mindset of like, well, let me buy a lottery ticket on on a event contract of a football game within these trading apps. But who knows? Because I saw that Kalshi just teamed up with the Wall Street Journal or Polymarket, one or the other. It's the official partner of CNN and the Wall Street Journal now.
Jesus, dude. Oh, the betting on everything epidemic.
Yeah. And it's like, have you seen like the scandals about like inside, because like any other betting, it's open to insider trading, insider betting. And when politics are involved, it's like, how much are you willing to do for a couple of million return on a bet?
It's crazy. But let's round things up, kind of talking about the last year of like meme coins and crypto in general, right? So we saw in this article that 70% of these new projects have lost value, which doesn't necessarily come as a surprise to me. So many projects are just like on vibes without a use case besides stablecoins. So, Kale, you're in the trenches. Are meme coins dead? Are, all crypto projects doomed to fail? Which, I mean, 70%, that also is like better than a restaurant.
No, that number is very inflated. Hold on, an 18-wheeler is flying past my window. Give me 1 second.
Is it actually flying? That would be news.
No. Katya, it's not actually flying. Anyway, what did you ask me about the meme coins? Oh, yeah, no. So I don't think there. I know as long as greed exists, meme coins will exist, in my opinion.
Okay.
Secondly, I am not surprised that 70% of the tokens are down bad because, first of all, like 95% of them were pump fund tokens. So it's like, yeah, of course, because 95% of the tokens that were created last year came from pump funds. Like, yeah, obviously they're all down bad because they're all meme coins.
Yeah.
It was literally just speculation. And it kind of like connects back to what you were saying about like back in 2016, 2017-ish, like all the ICOs were happening. Like that's not happening anymore in 2025. New projects that are dropping, most of them are pure speculation. Like it's just straight meme coins. They're not even claiming to be like, oh, we're putting the library on chain, we're putting this on chain, we're putting that on chain. Like it's literally just random teenagers who are dropping meme coins and then they go to zero. So yeah, no, like this number does not surprise me. I would be very curious to know what percent of tokens are going to zero that are actually trying to build something.
Yeah. Just shows you big data is messy.
Yeah, very true. And it's like easy to manipulate too. So I don't know. But I don't think meme coins are dead.
Damn it.
I was one of the things I was struck by is that one of the interpretations of this, with the token prices going down with such a large percentage, it was because a lot of these launches happened on dexes now. And we talked about this new ICO 2.0, the exchange offering, but now they're saying like maybe because of that, because like the availability was so readily available and there was liquidity right away, and so the sale off was amplified by the fact that this sale happened very conveniently on an exchange where you didn't have to jump through any hoops, you didn't have, it wasn't complicated, and that actually opened the doors to more randos, for lack of a better word, just speculating on these tokens than that normally would. And I thought that was interesting because I think we felt that these exchange offerings were a good thing and that they both for the user and for projects. But again, I don't know, like I am kind of finding myself in a very skeptical place at the beginning of in the new year, but like is it actually a bad idea to open the doors to more buyers? Like is it just amplifying speculation? Is it better to keep it a little bit closed down and so maybe a little bit more selective, so only people who know about the project or at least a little bit about the project are coming in? So yeah, so I thought that struck me. I thought that was interesting and I didn't quite know what to make of that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember back in the day when Coinbase would list a coin and it would like move that coin because everyone's like, oh, I got the stamp of approval of Coinbase is a legitimate project. And we've gotten away from that because now they're just like, here's a meme coin, buy it or sell it. We don't care. We make money off your volume either way.
Yeah, and I think all the creator coins that come out of Zora get like automatically listed on Coinbase. So there's that too.
And that's big announcement. One of them was that Solana coins are now all available automatically without approval or anything. So that was part of their presentation in November or whenever that was. But like, but yeah, so yeah, I don't know. But meme coins are definitely not dead, Kale, because they just came back. They might go away again, but they just came back in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
In the articles I'm reading that it's like this new year energy. I don't know what that's about. What is about the new year that makes meme coins come back? Kale, explain it to us.
It's mostly tax harvesting. People are like,
right.
Yeah, people sell specific times of the year to like make their taxes more or less efficient, usually more efficient.
Further reminder,
over.
Kale is not a tax accountant.
No,
or is he
no,
your tax?
No.
Not only Kale, none of us are tax accountants, so don't listen to us. But it's because then the year is over and the new year starts and they are buying again or something. Is that what you're saying?
It's something along those lines, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's also because January is so sad after Christmas. There's nothing here. Like, you just need to do something to feel something.
I know, like, I keep saying, like, why are there no, like, there's only Valentine's Day, which is a shit holiday, and, like, why aren't there more holidays in work? Because, like, the holidays are over, and then it's, like, 3 more months of winter, and it's just, like,
Horrible.
horrible.
True that.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the meme coins, I hope that they're dead. I know they're not. But I do love seeing headlines like this because I feel like that it serves as a dissuasion of people to, like, just bet on these meme coins. It's just so silly. Like, you're betting on absolute vaporware and vibes.
No, definitely.
At least bet on literally anything else.
The opportunity will always be there, in my opinion, for people who are looking. But it's like it gets saturated sometimes, and it's
Yeah.
like not everybody's meant to be in these waters. You know, sometimes
No.
you have like moms who are like supposed to be feeding their children, and then they lose their money in meme coins. Like
Yeah.
that's not the people who are supposed to be gambling in meme coins.
No.
You know, so like
Yeah.
I do appreciate when it like the waters recede and there's not as many people anymore. But I don't think it's ever going away.
No.
That's actually another thing that I was thinking of with the Robinhood thing with pivoting towards more experience, like, and profitability, like Kale, that you picked up on. That I feel like sometimes what's best for a user and what's best for a platform is not aligned. Or
No.
maybe that's all the time. Maybe that's just how it is. And for, like you say, for somebody who is either a beginner or risk averse or just kind of like a level headed person, but what they're going to do is they're going to buy some blue chip stuff and hold it and maybe trade once in a while, like pivot out of something into something once a year, twice a year, a couple times a year. But that's not what's best for the platform. Lots and lots of trading is what's best for the platform. So yeah, what they're going to be encouraging is not going to be the best thing for most users, because like if you are a super talented day trader, like kudos to you. Like if you're doing this every day and making your just like living money off of it, like great. But that's a very low percentage of people who are on these things. Like most people should just get something, hold it, and be white or semi-conservative about it. But that's not what the platform is going to encourage. And I think with these kind of platforms, the fintech platforms, that is much more visible than like with a traditional brokerage, because traditional brokerage doesn't have banners and gamified pop-ups in your app,
Yeah.
So I don't
No,
know,
that is
just
very true.
That's so true. I never even thought about that. But yeah, that's a very good point.
So, lightning round here. What are your hopes for 2026? My hope is that people will continue to be interested in projects, building stuff quietly. Hard to find those, but when you do, hold on to them. That's my wish for everyone in 2026. What about you guys?
I want to see evidence that there is that all these developments in fintech and crypto and tradfi slash hi-fi hybrid finance is reaching people that we keep saying we want to reach, the people who need reduced barriers but who are using it for like basic things like hedging against volatility in their currencies or whatever it is. So I just want to see both in the news, on Twitter, wherever. Like, I just want to see more evidence that that's happening, that all of these effects, tech effects, network effects, are reaching that goal, which I think is the goal of us here working in fintech. So I just want to see more of those feel good for me kind of signs of people using it to better their lives in a simple way.
Yeah. Kale?
I want to see one of two things: either DeFi on Monero, which will never happen.
I'm very
So,
specific.
so it's either DeFi on Monero or privacy on Ethereum.
Okay.
And I think privacy on Ethereum is like much more likely to come to fruition.
I
So
agree,
that's
especially since they are like all over it. They keep talking about
yeah,
it. So.
Vitalik's been on it recently. So definitely privacy on Ethereum is happening before DeFi on Monero. But like they're both like apples, like tomato, in my opinion.
Interesting. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of the episode. And you know what? We're coming up on 1 full year of doing this. That's absolutely crazy.
And
Katya
it's our
This is
reminded me.
episode 50.
This was
50th. It's our 50th today.
Let's
I
go.
know. That's absolutely crazy. So thank you, dear listener. We do this for you. We hope that you enjoy it. Make sure you follow along wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a review. What are you doing,
What is he
Kale?
doing?
I don't know. I've been wanting to do this the whole episode.
Okay. Well, way to derail my outro, but we'll leave it messy because you know what? That's after a year of this, we're still just learning, and we hope that you're learning along with us. Thank you, dear listener, and we will see you next week.
But
Bye.
Bye.